Vuka social media. OC, I love your boldness. Thanks for putting Zanu PF disrespectful enabler in her place. She specializes in hurting poor Zimbabwe. Listen, this is my own personal opinion. It's got as an individual, Angoro Materis and whatnot. I'm not sure if it is Auntie Jenny's lounge or Uncle Jed's post. There's a video that's there of Misred saying that Zimbabwean people do not love Zimbabwe, and that if we loved Zimbabwe, we would talk positively about Zimbabwe. And that hit a nerve. Jandi bata bata, because ndangofunga kuti, how can you say we don't love Zimbabwe? There are people that have literally died for Zimbabwe. The Itai Zamaras, the Patson Zamaras, we had Hopo Langari Mujeri for a very, very long time under inhumane conditions. We had even Morgan Jangirai. He was blue, black, apple. The man is already black like nugget polish or whatever, you know. This man was showing bruises. That's how much he was beaten up. And I'm thinking, woman, how are you saying Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe? Those are Zimbabwean people. And automatically it brought my thoughts of Fukwat Zangu, the amount of people that died due to police brutality, people that died due to army brutality, you know, armed forces. Are those people that, do they not count? Do they not matter? Are they not Zimbabweans? You know? Because as far as I am concerned, they are Zimbabweans. They have spoken about Zanu PF. They have spoken up about politicians. They have spoken up about things they did not believe in, even though their constitutional rights are constantly and consistently being taken away from them. And I am thinking, my human rights, Article 51, whatever, my human rights, forgive me, I'm still in law school and some rights. But my basic, law, my basic human rights. Kuti musati maenda kure imimi magweta. Chinonzi munu, chinonzi a human being, chinofema, chine my human rights. My human rights akasainirwa napasi nenyika dzose kwakati, which means that before the extra things like right to life, are the most basic human rights is having the right to life. And we have watched Zimbabweans being killed in front of us. Literally, a soldier holding a gun, when the army is supposed to protect us from foreign or alien attacks, not from within. They're supposed to protect those same Zimbabwean people. So when Misred says these things, I think they are very hurtful. I think they are very, very hurtful and disrespectful of anyone that is called a Zimbabwean, and especially to the people that have died for Zimbabwe. People have died of unknown cancers. People have died of unknown poisonings and accidents and all of this. These are things that I just brushed. So how can you then sit there and say Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe? As a Zimbabwean, hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter, I feel hurt. Because as a public figure, pandunesa hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter, I automatically make myself a target. So how the hell do you tell me, as an ordinary Zimbabwe, that we do not love Zimbabwe? We do not love Zimbabwe, but we also love our lives. It's disrespectful. And I think Misred as a journalist, they white one not go blogger we fashion industry. Stop this politics things. You know, stop commenting about Zimbabwe. Just stop. She just needs to stop commenting the politics. Ngaite fashion blogger, ngaite radio DJ, ngata ure kuti nasi Japanese release album. We won't hate her for it. We won't comment on it. But this political things, you are hurting people's feelings. And that is what you're leaving behind on your history. When people associate Misred, they will associate Misred with being a political pawn or a political, I don't want to use the word, but you know what people have been calling you. So those are my 2 cents. And what in the and I don't want to be misquoted. I don't want to be, I'll say it as it is. It's disrespectful. And please don't even bother apologizing for that video. I think apologies. Don't apologize for that video. We don't even want an apology. Just stop being Zimbabwean. Kana or not being better than this or being better than that. Chingoenda ku Nigeria go kusha. Ungoita zveku Nigeria mana. Ungoti siya ne Zimbabwe kuti chingotatarika nayo. Kikiri nayo. But anyway. Hanzi na Kelvin amuzi makunyanya kurwadziwa nemwana wevaridzi here. Atisi kurwadziwa naye, but kurwadziwa nemacomments anoita. He as a person, really, she doesn't have much for us to rwadziwa over. But mashoka nobuda, we don't hate the person. Tunovenga zito. We don't hate the person. I've got nothing against Misred. I've got no issues with her as a person and what she does in her private time. But it's only when she brings my details, the Edisuzuma Zimbabweans kudanza atili Zimbabwe. Guys, that's hurtful. The thing is, they are trying to get us to say positive things about Zimbabwe. Hanza muskutara zvinhu positive about Zimbabwe. You don't love Zimbabwe. What is there to who's got time to talk about in the Victoria Falls yakanaka? Iwo sina chingwamba mako. Who's gonna talk about kuti ende kumashambanzo ende kwa kakati, when you don't even have money yourself. The Zimbabwean people can't even afford to visit Victoria Falls. The Zimbabwean people don't even have the money to enjoy my luxuries arimo Zimbabwe. Kana ungofunga kuti ndirakwenda kugomore kwamrewa. Havatomborina mari yachokwira bhazi kuti vanoita picnic kugomore kwamrewa. Let alone market or advertise for foreigners to be coming in when we can't even afford it. Haye Wasandra sha inini mamoju zangu ndakaita ngini human rights ndokona kutongologa in loga in and I show you Sandra usatara zvasingaziye yo mojo my human rights muningini mangu, the most basic, and this was about the EU constitution, and it was also a lot to do with Ningini, so it was all there. So yeah, it's my own opinion. People have got their own opinion. You are entitled to support her comments, but I think it is just hurtful for people vakafa, the people like Ana Itai Zamara, Ana Patson Zamara, people that we don't even know where they are. You can't say Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe, because when we fight for Zimbabwe, to know what I So Anzi, I think at times she speaks from a place of privilege, and it isn't always mindful if the plight and suffering of others. Nkwantiwa Savage went off about how bad Nigeria is just last week. She comes off as out of touch with everybody. Realize is Izabani. I don't know what that means. Anzi, what did you say? I am trying. Samantha Yanzani, Misred, Panabaga, Unowia, you can come and you can aid yourself and explain yourself. We are a very diplomatic people, but what you said was very, very hurtful. You will know in a context that is in your mindset, but you need to be mindful of the people you are saying it to and whose feelings you are hurting. What you said or what you are saying or what you've been saying for the longest of time, you can't keep saying the same thing over and over again, and people are telling you to stop and you keep doing it. Right? You can't ask people to be promoting Zimbabwe vanhu vasina kana dora racho rekuti ivo vaende kana kunigrini kugomore kwamrewa rekunoita picnic ikoko. So we grew up in the Zimbabwe of today don't have that. So what is there to promote? Takakura tichimwa mukaka kuchikoro wemahara isusu. Our kids are going to school without even kana lunch yekudya. The only meal they get is sadzarema neru rinenge rabikwa neveggie. Vanobuda vasina kudya kana porridge kudzimba. So what is there to promote? When the bad outweighs the good, you can't expect us to constantly speak on the good, because the percentage of the good is minor compared to the level of the bad. The bad is the bad. The bad is the bad. No. I don't hate you. I've got nothing against you as a woman. I have nothing against you as a person. But the things that you're saying are very hurtful. I dare you. I actually dare you to speak or say something bad about the current government. Because you never have. I dare you to be a better citizen and speak on Pama platform zako, people's sufferings. Your video, I'm pointing out your video, your particular video. Like I said, feel free to be added here. There you go. I've put guest request and explain yourself what that was meant if we have taken it out of context. Because you said Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe. That is hurtful when you say Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe. How can we not be loving Zimbabwe when we go out and we march to Nouraiwa? How can we not be loving Zimbabweans when we post things on social media? To know ingwa kuma inbox squared. You see, so many times I have posted about Zimbabwe and I have had security forces come into my inbox and threaten me and my life and my well-being. But Jungo press a block you know. Ada, there you go. I've put you on. You can add yourself and you can explain what that meant, because like I said, I found offense in it. It is very offensive. If you don't see that, if you're going to protect Ngini, defend your comments, then yeah, une problem. Une problem. Une problem. You can't ask us utititi nyika yedu yakanaka when 90% or 98% of the Zimbabwean population is unemployed. You can't ask us to promote false marketing when 90% of the country can't afford healthcare. You can't expect us to say when 90% of the people that are in that country cannot afford basic food. You can't expect us to say when 90% of the country cannot afford education. These are the most basic things. So like I've just said, and I keep saying over and over again, the bad outweighs the good. So what is your focus going to be on? Yes, we try and be positive as a country. We try and be... Zimbabwean people are very peaceful. Hatina hondo, hatina kurwa nema numarodi kana kuita take up to arms because we are a peaceful people. Hatini hondo. Right? Tunokoshesa our lives. So we suffer in silence because we cannot speak up. And when people like yourselves that have got a platform keep advocating and continue being a cheerleader for things like that, it's concerning. How do you tell vanhu vakauraiwa nemasoja kuti you don't love Zimbabwe? How do you tell the under kuti amudi Zimbabwe, speak positively about Zimbabwe? How do you tell a mother that lost a child due to army and police brutality kuti speak positively about this country? Unovaudza sei? How do you tell vana vaningrini vaitaidzamara kuti speak positively about Zimbabwe? Be sensitive with your comments. Kana usiri kupanzwisisa ipapo how your comments are hurtful. If you are not understanding that bit, if you are not understanding why I am saying my comments are hurtful, because these are all Zimbabweans. Speak positively about Zimbabwe. These are children that lost 2 fathers, not one. 2 fathers. One father, they don't even know what happened to him. They never had a funeral for him. They don't have a grave to show for him. How do you tell those kids to speak positively about Zimbabwe? How do you even ask? Then they lost a second father. Through the same means, how do you ask them to speak positively about Zimbabwe? We know Zimbabwe has potential. We know Zimbabwe can be a better country. We know Zimbabwe could easily be the bread basket of Africa. That's why it hurts us. We know the potential our country has. Anyway, I gave you the opportunity to explain on the same platform that you posted it. I could be wrong, but in this moment, my opinion is your video was very offensive. It's very offensive to Vanvarimu Zimbabwe. You can't be asking Vanvarimu Zimbabwe to speak positively about Zimbabwe and then insult them and tell them they do not love their country when 98% of them are unemployed, when 90% of them have got no access to medication, when 90% of them can't afford schools, when 90% of them can't afford food, and you then demand them to speak positively about a country that is killing them slowly. I'm sorry to say, it's very, very offensive. You might not have thought of it that way, or whatever your context might have been, but you might not reflect on how are they being received by Muno Arku Garam one room, but $5 a month, and they can't even afford that $5. Think about your comment. How is it being received by Muno anenga chichaga change $5? Change $5. Kwenya msoro kuti vachaga kuti nai tiri kuchago change $5. Haibatike. Because nobody has got my dollar acho to make it into $5. You need to think about the statements that you're making as a public figure, how they're being received by the people that actually clicked the follow me button. It is hurtful. It is hurtful to people that are going for days. Vasina, I run a foundation. I don't know about you if you're into charity work, but the OCF, nguva ye COVID, we buried so many children under the age of 5 years that are dying from kwashiorkor. Vana varikufa nekwashiorkor because of nzara. This is evidence-based. Kuti ndogona kukudza takaradzika John musi wakati, takaviga Susan musi wakati, takaviga mwana uyu musi wakati because of malnutrition. Kwashiorkor, this day and age, this 2020. So please, when I say I got offended, go and tell those kids that lost their life because of hunger to speak positively about Zimbabwe. If you don't get that, then pane problem. Hands wana kana ma comments ake, she doesn't even care. She might not care, it's okay. But some of us will speak on it. Andi chigesadza kumba kwevani nini. Last time I checked ndo chigesadza remba mangu. I dare you. Chimboya umboita 1 week uri ku CF uku. Umboona vana vari kufa nekwashiorkor. And you tell me you can go and tell those kids vari kufa vekuti kana kudhara ka vana vanga vasingafi kana nekwashiorkor because inonzi masidzi echibage anga asingadhure, vanhu vaizvirimira mavheji avo. Hapana kana mvura dzichabuda mumatepu avanodiridza sei mvura dzacho. Mvura yacho haidi kunaya, masidzi acho haatengeke, mbeu yenhigiri yechibage. People are starving. I don't care much about the grown folks. What about these young kids? Kovanava. Kunzwi kwa muno 2020. Nyika ine ma diamonds. Nyika ine platinum. Nyika ine coal. Ine chi. One of the biggest tobacco growing countries in the world. But yet our kids still suffer. I'm sorry, if we are not seeing the fruits of young kids getting free education, I will speak positively about Zimbabwe when young kids have got access to free medication. I will speak positively about Zimbabwe when young children have got basic food. I will speak positively about Zimbabwe when all the young girls that go on their menstrual periods are getting free pads. That's what I advocate for. You cannot ask these people vasingakwanise kana kutenga donje cotton wool yekuti vashandise pavanoenda kumwedzi, vanoshandisa newspaper. And you are asking that generation to speak positively about Zimbabwe. Unotamba iwewe. And you tell them why. You're telling them kutanza amudi Zimbabwe. What is there to love in Zimbabwe? Iwona mone matambudziko iwaya. It's very offensive. It's extremely offensive. And please, don't even apologize. We don't want your apology. It's offensive. But food for thought. Chimbogara pas umbofunga. Kuti paunongo chipupuma unge mvure washen pepe uchingotaura zvisina basa. Chimbofunga kuti how does that affect the next? You've got girls, young girls that follow you on your platform. Young girls that want to be like Misred. But these same young girls can't even afford cotton. But Zimbabwe tinorima cotton. Tinorima cotton, but vana varikushaya donje rekuti vashandise pavanoenda kumwedzi. And you expect them to speak positively about a country. Kana imimi muri kudya mari dzenyika hazvirevi kuti vamwe vese tiri kudzidya. It doesn't mean the rest of us are busy, spending the coffers of Zanu PF or spending the coffers of the bank or whatever monies the country generates. I'm not saying our country does not generate money. It does generate money, but we do not have access to it. The ordinary people do not. Hazvirevi kuti the other 90% are seeing it. They are not. So be mindful when you throw such insults to them. Mundiregerere ini ndofira mukureva, ndinofira kutaura. Kundida kana kusandida kana kuita sei ndapedza pa ndogwejenura Facebook yangu mozondona next week. Musara muchipupuma mege iwo. It's wrong. It's wrong. Zimbabwe is a cotton farming country. It is a cotton farming country. But basa rekuigirwa mapads nesana Olinda nevakadzi vemuno muUK. Tunoita basa rekutumira macontainer nemacontainer emapads to a country that is probably farming the same cotton that is exported to these other countries to make those same pads. And then we have to export it back into our country. Vana vanoshandisa machira t-shirt zvakadhamba ndo zvavanoshandisa vagozviwacha kana vari panguva vaenda kumwedzi. But nyika yedu inorima cotton. Mafamu makatora. Maminista vakatora mafamu vakaita vakagoverana nehama dzavo nembwa dzavo nekatsi dzavo. Mafamu airimwa cotton. And today we don't have those basic amenities. And you think you really have the audacity to then ask those same people. Ask those same people kuti hanzi speak positively about Zimbabwe. Imimi kana muri kudzidya azvireve kuti tese tiri kudzidya. Just because your bills are well catered for, or you've got vehicles, you've got whatnot, whatever you are getting from it, it doesn't mean the ordinary person is getting it. You speak positively, kuti amanaga being a member. If that is your way of trying to convince us to become members of Zanu PF, ukaya kwandiri kandida amanaga kuita member we Zanu PF kana member we MDC unodya zvekudya hatinouya zvedu tosena apo post tiri kutiza nzara. Tikaziva kuti kuzano PF ndokunobuda mapedzi, ndokunobuda chingwa, ndokunobuda mushonga, ndokunobuda chi. You're right. We'll come and join. You are very right. We will come and join and we'll speak positively about that political party because they are ensuring that every person that is a member of their party is well taken care of. But until then, my mwana de mambomira kuita dze politics. Reporter zvenyu kana dze fashion blogging kuti who's wearing what this week. Itai zve music. Itai kana zve makeup. Itai journalist anodila nevanhu ve fashion kana uveanza ne home department yekuti who's got the nicest houses in Harare or whatever. Reporter izvozvo zve politics yana inazvo because each time you open your mouth you always offend the Zimbabwean people. And you are completely misinformed. Let's not even talk about the 90%. We will speak positively when the majority, being 51% of Zimbabweans, have got education. when 51% of Zimbabwe have got jobs, when 51% of people in Zimbabwe have got medical care, when 51% of the people in Zimbabwe have got basic food, when 51% of Zimbabwe have got electricity, magetsi chako hakuna kana mvura. Basic, a big number for you. When 51%, basically meaning the majority of the Zimbabwean people have got the most basic things, then Tonzguisotnikedi is being progressive from 90% to increasing it to 51%. Anyway, in that bed, I have got no comment. If anybody else wants to say this, if anybody wants to be added or has got an opinion, please, maybe ndinokutadza kutaura. But until then, and in my Zanu if we don't spoon feed people, people must wake up on my basacha hakuna. Iwe British nyarar chimbomire zvish. Anyway, if no one wants to be added or anybody's got a comment, if I've covered everything, then well done. I will go on and get on with my business and all of this. And no basics for ordinary citizens. And don't wanna to speak positive about your country. Kananda covers said the nonzichi. And I'm not here for Misred must fall. More boys minutes. I'm not here for Misred must fall. I'm here for her to change her mind and have a progressive mind. Without pfungwa dzake dzishanduke. Call Ivy. You call set my comments. Let's stick to the topic. Zvekuti vanhu vanodana nika ndozvisinei nesizvo izvo. Chatirongoda sensitivity yekuti be sensitive to the people around you. Anyhow, yangu yapera. Why is it every time Panduta life nindakabata tea? It's very important. Anyway, I don't have much to say, but just to sum it up, my point that was there, I'm a bit passionate when I speak. I'm a bit passionate when I decide to voice something. And as of this morning, I saw a video of Misred where she was saying that Zimbabweans do not love Zimbabwe, and that she compared us to the Nigerians, and that we should speak positively about Zimbabwe and whatnot. And I'm thinking, I got offended, Kuti. How do you speak positively about Zimbabwe? But some of the things that I have personally experienced, I have under the Olinda Chapel Foundation, we do a lot of work with the underprivileged. So we are quite hands-on or knee-deep into poverty. Let me put it that way. And we have street kids that we feed, that we look after on the streets. And some of our street kids, vanorarama a warm night. Vamwe vakapisirwa mumakombi wayo, mavanga wakarara. How then do you tell these children, these street kids that have got no home, that have got no one supporting them or giving them food, varikupisirwa mumota just because they're looking for a place to sleep? How do you tell those children to be positive about Zimbabwe? One, how do you tell the children that the OCF has had to bury over kwashiorkor and malnutrition? How do you speak to those children, to that young generation? How do you tell a child that is hungry and dying from hunger to speak positively about Zimbabwe? How do you talk about the girl child that has had to resort. I mean, we went to Epworth, I think 2 years ago. You guys saw this. Kwainzi kunevana, my 9-year-old prostitutes. And I argued, there's no such thing as a 9-year-old prostitute. It's called abuse and pedophilia, as far as I am concerned. And there were allegations from the same children that ivo madhare vanenge vane mota dzegovernment ndivo vanotodriva kuenda kuEpworth to pay these young kids 50 cents for what do you call this? For sexual favors. Kurara ni mwana ni 9 years. How do you then tell a child at the age of 9 who sleeps with varume 15 kana 20 pazuva to buy food? How do you tell a child of that age and the things they have experienced at that age that speak positively about Zimbabwe? That Zimbabwe is such a great country to live in. How do you do that? Can't afford cotton wool, not even a pad, cotton donje. Tichirima donje mzimba. How do you tell, hey mama? How do you tell a young girl of such an age, Kuti, speak positively about your country? How do you tell this 18-year-old, my points manga ni shia Zimbabwe kana chinzo kapasa 15 points ndizo A level. 15 points ndokunzo wadzidza stake. Anenga ne 15 points. Count 14 points or 13 points A level. But cannot go to university to become a doctor or to become a lawyer or to become an engineer or to become something well-skilled because they can't afford university. How do you tell a young, how do you explain that? How do you ask them to then speak positively about a country? Just because imimi murukuona ziri positive, just because imimi murukudya mari the government. Actually, it's not even married the government. Just because imi murukudya mari yenyika, you are spending these people's money. It's their money, it's their country. Zimbabwe is a land, but it's the people that make the country. It's the people that are Zimbabwe. So how do you then go and tell them? Imi muchiflya zvenyu ma private jets, muchita kuhaya ma private jets. How do you tell people of Zimbabwe to speak positively about a country where they can't even go kuHarare hospital kunorapwa? But mimi mukangobatwa kana nechikosoro kana kuti mukangosura chete. Mukangoita gas mudumbu menyu, munokwira ndege muenda kunonzi kuSingapore kunorapwa. Munoenda kuChina kunorapwa. Just because. How do you tell gogo vari vakasara nenherera that are looking after their grandchildren because their child died from HIV because there were no antiretrovirals in the country? Because my antiretroviral amnopuwa mnyika menyu is my donations munomatora munomatengesa futi. This 2020 kunzwa kunzi munhu akafa neHIV. 2020 watiri unoyu. Wekuti munhu ukangozvimwira mapiritsi ako, 1, you don't infect anyone. 2, you do not die. 3, vakatobatwa neCovid vakanzi ndo